students need to read a Holocaust text. Do you think that teachers are upset about having their objectives on the board all the time because they're being told to do it, or because they think that objectives aren't valuable? Well, that's like if you make $50,000 a year, that's 20% of your salary potentially.
And that's why a lot of Texas teachers cheat and they get caught, and it's not great.
I'm kind of inspired for this one.
Oh,
The
yeah?
Type CC is for the Type CC is for curriculum. I think that's fascinating, mainly because my experience with curriculum is so it's both limited and in a creation standpoint, but never in an application of one that somebody else has already done. So I'm interested to see the kind of structure that you have to endure with yours.
Dude, I'm nervous about being judged for mine, but it's also kind of like, this
Why?
is what I'm stuck with. I don't know. I don't know.
Is it okay? I'm excited. Okay, is there like what's it called? Like, can I look it up before
Yeah,
we even?
yeah,
Even
yeah,
before
yeah.
already going, I just want to like have it in front of me.
Yeah, so the main thing that we work with is called StudySync. It's through McGraw-Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Yep.
going back to the conspiracies, it's like, how deep are the hands of these publishing companies in like our education, and like what are their interests, and
Okay.
how high up does like money compare to helping the kids become developed learners, you know? I would say that for this one, it's money. It's their
Yeah.
primary motive.
That doesn't shock me. I can't even get a preview of this.
Oh,
Like,
really?
everything is behind paywall. Yeah, and it's itemized. So I could get the composition, reading, and writing companion for $17, but I can't even view it.
There you go. Yep. I'm not.
Oh.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's just blank wall. Sign in.
Yeah, I've got nothing to look at. I can look at their items, I can look at the programs, but I can't actually like see it.
Yeah.
I can see the names of them. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And not to just dive into it, but it's like I see the benefit here of just like standardizing what is expected of kids to know from one point to the next, but also it's just so hollow, and well, not hollow, it's like it is dense, like it's a lot of material, but like soulless, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it soulless because your own personal soul is not into it? Is that what you mean?
Right.
Like because the autonomy is not there, that it doesn't feel like your own words?
Yeah.
Like you get no freedom with this?
Yes, I am Pinocchio on strings,
But
you know.
we're out of order, so your editing is going to be a nightmare here.
Sorry,
but
no,
I want to.
we can totally come back. We can circle back.
Okay, because I have so many questions that I want to talk
let's
about.
just circle back. Let's just circle back.
Yeah, because I'll need to explain my own ignorance first,
Okay.
because that's where all of these like people are going to listen. Okay, whatever. Type C teachers. C is for curriculum. And before we get into it, it has been a magnificent week on the internet, and I have loved every second of it, not only for my own payroll and my own views, but people are making really wonderful content,
Oh
and there's a whole lot to say.
It's been such, I've been glued to my phone in the best of ways.
Yeah, like it feels like there's this renaissance going on now that we have another 75 days. That like the life cycle of TikTok right now is one that's really positive generally, minus this girl I'm going to talk about in a second. I shouldn't say that. This creator. I have no idea how old she is, but you have been to the Minecraft movie, correct?
Oh my God, yes I have. I was like, I have to go opening night, or like technically the first official night it was open, like because it was open the night before for everyone who's like a hardcore die hard fan. And like I think I've told you before, I live in East Texas, the middle of nowhere. The closest movie theater is an hour and a half away. Like,
Oh, this is a destination.
no, this is an event. Like
Okay.
and the thing was like my dad and I, we do this thing still where like we go and watch movies, and I said I was gonna go watch a movie tonight, and he was like, "Oh, I'll tag along." I was like, "No, you don't, you don't want to do this," because
And you didn't take him?
no, I did not take him because like, and we are he's as much of an indulger in bad movies as I am. The Minecraft movie is not good.
Okay,
Okay.
one of my students compared it to Jumanji, and I said, "Is that
No.
because of Jack Black, or is it because there's some kind of similarity?" And they said it has to do with people that shouldn't be in a space being in the space and trying to navigate it. And like that was the parallel that was drawn. Is my student wrong? Are you saying my student's wrong? That child?
Yes. No, I'd say
Okay,
it's a fair comparison, but there's a better one. Uh,
okay,
in every possible metric. Have you seen Tenacious D?
of course.
Yes, it's kids Tenacious D. In what ways, you
Okay,
ask?
yes, I was about. Yeah, that's. I figured you were going to keep on going. I
Just
want to hear more.
like it's just absurd. Just like the, I don't like I don't know how much you want me to spoil for you because it's
I
just
cannot stress to you my lack of familiarity with Minecraft, nor can I stress to you my, I don't want to say lack of interest in seeing it, but I watch Die Hard over and over again and like can't hardly wait and Empire Records, and that's Home Alone. And that's it. I watch 4 movies. I don't watch new ones. I don't have that in me. So you can say whatever you want to.
okay. Well, it's Jack Black being Jack Black, but he's like ramped it up to be like I'm sing-songy, I'm yelling stuff. There are songs in the film, and Jason
Oh,
Momoa is just kind of like feeding off that energy too. And he's not like quite there, but there's like moments, like little hints where he's like, "Oh, like you're blossoming, you're like being a funny guy too. This is fun." And
gotcha.
then there's like I don't know if you want to call it like the B plot of the kids who are in the movie because it's supposed to be about the kids and their plot, but it's really the Jack Black and Jason Momoa show. And it works. Like I will say, the
Yeah.
movie works. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it particularly because, like I was explaining, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have gone to movies here just by myself at like prime hour, like Friday night, 9 p.m. I've gone there and it was just me. I haven't seen a full theater since I think Spider-Man From Home, No Way Home,
Yep.
whichever newest
No Way
one
Home,
came out.
Homecoming, whatever.
Um, and the level of participation in this podunk East Texas movie theater that was filled up. Like I can't stress, like there were no seats available. The ones in the front row were taken. Everyone was there who was a little bit under my age, like between
I was about to say, give
20.
me the demographic. What's the demographic info based on your eye test?
Okay, I'd say like 85% were 20 to like 33 and the rest were
Okay.
like 10 or 9, 8, 9, 10 to like 13. It was a
And how many copyright laws are being broken at a given time by people filming inside of that theater?
as a land loving lover of piracy, I hope all of them.
Perfect. Perfect. I feel like it would be like a concert.
It's so fun. Everyone just turns on. It's like what I imagine Rocky Horror Show to be like.
Oh. Do you
Um,
think it'll become that? Like, could you see this having the legs
yes,
to be a thing that is a cultural phenomenon beyond like April?
absolutely, absolutely. Like I think that they could bring it back into the theater and make it a whole thing. Like someone rents out a theater and be like, "All right,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing the Minecraft movie tonight. Everyone dress up, bring your friends, and like shout chicken jockey at the top of your lungs." The funniest clip I've seen so far,
Is
besides
people
seeing
losing their shit and having a chicken?
no,
Not to cut you off and steal your punchline because that was unreal.
no, there was that, and I made a video, and I don't normally make stitches. I'm just like, this is
Yeah.
bizarre. Like there are certain trends that happen on TikTok, which is makes TikTok so great. Like Reels doesn't have this, Shorts doesn't have it. It's just like everyone on TikTok is in on the joke. There were several. Like I'd see the one with the guy with the chicken, right, and they were all yelling chicken jockey and throwing popcorn and whatever in the air, and then they get like pulled out. I'd scroll down 3 more. It's the same thing from a different angle. I'd scroll down 5 more. It's the same thing from a different angle in a different time. Like I like nonstop for like 7 different angles. I saw this same event, and then I saw a newscast of it. And the funniest thing I've ever heard was a news broadcaster being like, "So what is a chicken jockey?" And I was like, "Oh my god, this
I
is
think here,
awesome."
the absolute beauty of TikTok, where it is incomparable to other platforms, is that it empowered everybody in that theater to do that thing because of the illusion that everybody was doing it. If it's your algorithm over and over and over again, you're like, everyone's doing this. It's like 6 posts, right?
Yeah.
But that in and of itself, when everybody sees those because they have tens of millions of views combined, I'm sure, now it's like, oh, we have to go and do this. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how like being viral actually occurs. These sorts of trends happen. It's not because they were already cool. It's because they had the appearance of being cool, and now we feel like we can do them. That's spectacular. It
Yeah.
brings us together.
It
It
brings us
brings
to.
us together.
There is like an element of beauty to it. Like I know people are trashing movie theaters and stuff, and like that's
Mhm.
bad. Don't do bad things.
Yes,
But also to see something I love. Like I love movies and I love movie theaters to like have some sort of breath of life in them that they haven't had maybe since like the Minions 4 came out or whatever.
it is. It is incredible that you say that because when we were talking about Minecraft in class, students had these pictures of them dressing up for the Minions movie and that being an event. And again, it had the illusion that this thing was occurring probably because a group of people did it and it was hilarious. Like it's undeniably funny, but it looks more common than it is, therefore it becomes common, and
Right.
now we all get to paint our faces yellow and like hang out with each other in our weirdness. We get to celebrate our weirdness and interest in Minions and Minecraft.
It's so fun. I've loved Minecraft ever since my sister was the one who brought it home to play. She's younger than me, so I was on the outer edge of that, and
Mhm.
then it picked up again during COVID, and I have some like streamers that I watch that play it. One of them is apparently on a new episode of Black Mirror, and I'm like super excited to watch it.
I'm not ready to talk about Black Mirror because it scares me and makes me uncomfortable, and I'm a guy who gets nightmares, so I don't watch scary things.
Oh
But I've watched
no.
few episodes of Black Mirror I've watched made me so uncomfortable, but I'll watch it for a Minecraft guy.
Yes, yeah, Tommy, isn't it? He's the best. But enough about Minecraft because we can come back to it when we're talking about actual curriculum stuff. Um,
Okay,
Tell me about the group chat because you've tried to get me into it. I'm sorry, I'm just not sold on this being interesting. I don't know if it's just my young person attention span. I tried
let me
watching it
stretch it out. Let
and
me
it was I I can get down with someone playing multiple roles or whatever cuz like I do that. But it's just I don't know, it wasn't dynamic enough for me to be like, "Oh, this is interesting."
I think the beauty of the group chat has to do with, I don't think, the beauty of the group chat has to do with a person's familiarity with how these group chats work. The idea that you have, like, especially in this one, because there's nine girls in it, but it's really just her. But there's 9 girls in it, but some of them are together. So, like, there's the commentary in the group chat, but then there's the side commentary. And I think the original episode is so particularly engaging because you hear them, like, their voiceover as they're typing it, and then it cuts to one of the other groups of people as they're reading it out loud and then providing the commentary on it. I think the most compelling part about it, though, had to do with the fact that she was creating episodes within a minute to 2 minutes of content, and they ended so well. And the idea, if you're not familiar with the group chat, like, grow up. But the group chat, how it works is it's these 9 girls and they're supposed to be going out to dinner, but one of the girls wants to bring her boyfriend because she says my boyfriend's had a really hard day, I want to make sure that I can bring him, and nobody wants him to come because that wasn't it. And so they like know one of the girls is going to be like, yeah, she'll shut the shit down, and so she tries, but it doesn't work. And so this girl with the boyfriend's Justin, Haley's the girlfriend, they're like the two main characters, and the name of that is the best because it's like Haley and Justin
Justin
Bieber,
Haley,
right?
yeah, the
Which is
drama
like
right
not,
now.
if it's accidental, then I don't know, a gift from God.
Yeah.
But they say no, they don't want to do it. Haley leaves the group chat. They end up making a secondary group chat. Haley comes back, but this thing catches fire. These posts catch fire. So the first two, last I looked, just the first two, there's 5 episodes total, and now the season's over. But the first 2 episodes had over 50 million views in
Oh my
3 days,
god.
in like 3 or 4 days.
What?
And so we've talked about monetization on here, but if she even makes, okay, if her RPM is about, if it's 90 cents a thousand, right, then she's making $45,000 on these posts. But
That's
I'm willing to bet because
crazy.
they are especially well edited and they have the voiceovers and the different angles that she probably got the bonus. The bonus for me, if I have it, bumps my RPM up to almost $3 per thousand views, which would move her up to like $130,000. Okay,
That'd be
the
crazy.
the wonderful part is that people loved it. Right, we were willing to just watch this as a show. It's one of the only things I've ever been able to really detach myself from and just enjoy it like it was happening on my screen.
Yeah.
By the third episode, Charlie Puth has become the biggest fan of this. He loves it. He can't get enough. He's posting about it. He's in the comments, as is every, like the entire, like the NASDAQ is in there too, right? Like every brand post is in there. Charlie Puth, in the fourth episode, they confront Justin at the restaurant, and Charlie Puth is Justin. He recorded voiceovers and sent them to the girl Sydney Joe who made it, and so he is Justin as the voiceover, which is like, imagine like a week before you had an idea for a funny video, and then 7 days later you have voice memos from Charlie Puth that you're editing in as you record this thing from your house.
That's nuts. Oh my gosh.
It it's like the internet. It's an internet dream because you're going viral for this thing that people love, that they can't get enough of. She was brilliant to call it a season finale. In it, she addresses all like these fan theories through these girls as they're like, well, why would he do that? And then the girl, the version of her that's in the bed, which I think is probably the closest to her, she just like doesn't get out of bed. She's like, man, I don't know. Like I don't got an answer for that. I didn't really think this thing through. I didn't expect it to have 100 million views by now. It's so good, and the season ends. Did you didn't watch the end of it?
I did not.
Oh my god! By
Go
the
ahead and
end,
talk about it.
you find out that Justin, they like stalk Justin and this girl that Justin was with at the restaurant, who was not Haley, by the way, and they find out that he's been dating her. Her name's Lucy. He's been dating Lucy since he was in college at GroupChat University, by the way, which is the funniest damn thing. He's been dating her
So
since
stupid.
GroupChat University, and and Haley was the other girl. She was the other girl the whole time. So they fire off this message to the everybody but Haley group chat, but they accidentally send it to the one that Haley's in. And so the season ends with them realizing they sent this message that Haley's gonna see. It's it's perfect. It's
Cliffhanger.
perfect.
I think
Cliffhanger for what, like 10 minutes of commitment. You can watch all 5 episodes, and then it's just like, man, that was a really pleasant 10 minutes.
I think my aversion to the whole thing, okay, this is me personal me. I despise group chats. I hate them
Uh-huh.
so much, and the very thought of a group chat just makes me want to drive into traffic. Like I would rather, like I hate communicating on my phone, which kind
Okay.
of sounds weird. Phone
I don't
calls,
think so.
gross. Texting, ew. Like it takes me so long to text people back. If I'm in a group chat, I turn that thing off. I hide it, and if people are spamming it, I leave it.
The first thing I do when I get a new phone is turn notifications off completely. My phone does not ring. My phone does not vibrate. My phone does absolutely nothing. I receive no notifications, even if I turn the ringer on. I cannot hear my phone. And it's the first thing that I do. And so maybe that has influenced my experience with group chats because I don't have a single notification ever. I did this years ago because I started to feel like like a phantom vibrate, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
oh, I think it was there, and I was like, that's a really bizarre physical sensation. Like, I don't know what's going on in my brain that makes me think that. So I was toast. So I'd learned how to turn them all off, and then I got rid of them, and I haven't thought twice about it. I also typically don't have the color on my phone either.
Whoa,
Yeah,
dude,
I'm
is
full.
that what it
You
was
can
like when you
go
were
into
a
your
kid
color.
or something? You just
Say it
nostalgic?
again.
Is that what it was like when you were a
Right.
kid? Or you just
If you like
nostalgic?
television, the only time I turn my color on is like right now when I'm looking at it or when I'm filming something. But otherwise, I have like a color filter button, and then you press it, and it turns everything monochromatic.
You're an iPhone, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
and it's oh yeah, of course. Would we be friends if my texts were green? Like, there's no way.
oh no. You got me at the right time because my text would have been green and they are going to be green again because I hate iPhone so much. I despise it.
Why?
When I get locked into a situation on an app where I have to close it to go back into it because there's no back button, I I am about to punch a wall.
There is it's up at the top. There's an arrow that takes you to your last app. It's like right in the corner every time.
No, not the last app. Like
Oh,
the last
like the
like I'm stuck, like a page is like frozen, like an app isn't fully developed or they haven't troubleshooted it all the way
oh,
or something, and there's no way to go back to the last page that I was at, and I get
gotcha.
stuck. I'm like, if only this had a back button.
I guess I never really realized that that was something I was living my life void of. I had no idea. But I mean,
And
I
sorry, I can just go on a rant all about this.
no.
No, well, I mean, it does have a files app, but it's useless. You can't
Yep. Totally garbage.
you can't bring it into you can't unless it's a Mac. You can't bring it into your computer.
Hmm.
Androids will connect to like any device, like my
Okay.
stove from 1947. It'll find a way to connect to that because it's not an Apple
The door will
device.
just open.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, that don't get me on my soapbox, okay? Don't get
Right.
me
No.
started.
Okay.
We got a schedule we need to move to.
We
Group
we
chats.
absolutely do. So
Rate the group chat 1 out of 10. Like the experience of it
right,
all.
10 out of 10 for the virility of it all. I've already been thinking of ways that I could turn it into a teacher one. I have like ideas, but now that I know the potential of it, I need to make sure I have a whole season created. And as somebody who does not script anything that I write, I just like hit my record button and then I speak until I'm done and then I stop and I just do that for a minute. I don't know that I have script writing in me, but damn, 10 out of 10. It was a flawless experience. It was a moment in time. Love it. Can't
Mm,
wait for season 2.
would you count that as like some sort of derivative art, like the way Christian rock makes rock music? Wait, you're making the teacher group chat, uh, or
Look,
would it be like compliments? My compliments to the chef. I'm making a thing like this.
100%. And the difference is like what the one of the luxuries she had going for her is that every one of those versions of her has like distinctly different hair. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
hairstyles are always different every time through, which means she had to be way pre-planned. Like in terms of the outfit she was wearing, in terms of the clothes, because like once you do your like they're completely different. It yeah. I don't know that I have the foresight for that. That's a lot of work for something that could get me 1,000 views and then just be gone.
Or
I don't know about my ROI.
55 million views in a video from Charlie Puth.
55 million views if it had the bonus would be $150,000.
If you could have one person guest star on your group chat version, who would it be? Like you, like
Ocho
your
Cinco.
Chad Ochocinco? What?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Or Marshawn Lynch. They're my two favorite Americans. Yeah. Ocho Cinco or Marshawn Lynch. It's not.
Are you a big
That's the easiest
football
question
guy?
ever. Huh?
Are you a big football guy?
Um. Yeah, actually, I suppose I am. Yeah, I'm a pretty big football guy, but I'm a big personality guy. And Ocho Cinco and Marshawn Lynch are two of the most dynamic people ever. And maybe, and of course Wayne, but I don't think Wayne would want to do it. So I think Marshawn Lynch would do it. I know, I guarantee Ocho Cinco would. I went 10 years in a row trying to get Chad Ocho Cinco to join my March Madness pool. I would just
Whoa.
tweet him all the time, like, "Hey, do you want to interrupt Madness?" Never heard
Interrupt
back.
madness.
Do you want to interrupt Madness?
One day, when we become super popular, we're gonna have a weekend of festivities and festivals and
Mm-hmm.
conferences and professional development. We're gonna call it Rupp Madness. It's gonna be
We,
great. It's gonna
I
be like
think we
Fire
should.
Festival. Yeah.
Type C con.
Type
Yeah, I think that
the
would.
C
I
is
think
for
it would.
con.
Oh my god,
It can be a double entendre. We can steal their money and then run away to like Puerto Rico or something. Well, that would we're still in America.
right, and then
Like
we could
Aruba.
really just brand it as such, like Firefest. But this is legit, guys.
That's what Firefest 2 is advertising itself as. It's so great. I love it so much.
So okay, I had one other. I don't know if we want to talk about that
Dude, yeah,
horrible.
let's talk about it. We can get money from the clips that we are
Okay,
going to post, okay? We
here's
got
our
so much content.
here is my transition into curriculum. Okay. A post, I came across a post in the wild and I couldn't believe it because it was not stitched. I don't know where it came from. My algorithm is not conducive to these sorts of things. But it was a creator who made a post that just opens up hot with teachers are not underpaid. Okay. This is an argument that I've heard before. We've all heard it before. The problem is, I'm not judging a conclusion. Okay. If you reach the conclusion logically, factually, teachers are underpaid, I can hear that out. I'm a teacher of rhetoric, right? And I think, or teachers are not underpaid. I think I can navigate that, right? And I'm not going to be there to post some video where I'm trying to like enter into a conversation where I'm being disingenuous or it's coming from like a bad faith space. Her post was nonsense. It was absolute nonsense because the only thing it focuses on, which seems to be the only thing that a lot of people focus on, is like you work 9 months. If your contract is for 183 days, but you get paid for a year, that is flawed. And it's always that in exclusivity. It is just that point. The problem is that pay is based on the work you do, also the time that you put into it. And if we never discuss, and again, if you want to discuss the merits of that work, that's a different conversation, but nobody ever does it. I'm never seeing that part of it with any sort of authenticity at all. And so she didn't get into that. So I stitched it. And I'm not even making a counter argument. I'm just pointing out that this is the flaw, and you're continuing to make it over and over again, and it did like 2 point something million views.
I saw that.
Okay. I didn't know a thing about this creator. I've never seen this person before in my life.
And
It's
yet
at that
now
point,
she's in the abyss because of you. You got her banned.
I don't know that I don't think I did, but she made that post and then teachers were fired up. Because while I can sit there and just kind of calmly, very calmly be like, this is illogical, your argument is incomplete, the end. That's it. That's all I have to do, right? People were way fired up. I don't know how your own comment section can be the thing that deplatforms you, though, right? Like, especially if it's in disagreement with you. I don't know how that works. But she had like a quarter. This is interesting. She had a quarter of a million followers, Mikey, but she had less likes than me. I have 80,000 followers. So she's making this content that is just her opinions. And I'm looking at them and it's like, man, some of these are kind of hateful. Like this might actually be hate speech that's going on here, and that's outrageous. My post was
Yeah,
up for a day and a half, and then her account is gone. It's gone. And so now she's on a backup account that has significantly less followers. I've checked on it. The posts are getting just no traction at all. They're not. I don't know where this one singular platform for her came from. She's like going live, and I would never even look at that. But that's it. And so I look at that, but part of the criticism has to do with this idea that teachers are there in their contract hours and they're like, all right, clocking out. And they go home. And I don't know about you, but when we talk about C is for curriculum, one of the most significant parts, a good chunk of my time spent, isn't just the feedback that I give, but the instruction that I create. Because I create, or with a colleague, but it is self-created, all of it. We make all of it. That is not your experience, though. So we need to dig into this idea of curriculum because mine and yours are to the point that I feel like we have different jobs.
I totally agree. Hearing you talk about your wonderful dream of a classroom that you have, just like free from the political bullshit that is
Mm-hmm.
living in Texas. God damn, dude.
Okay, so I'm going to set a foundation for myself because I think I'm like the null factor, right? Like I don't think that what I do is common, and I also think that what I do is pretty. I don't want to say I don't have guidelines, but like for instance, so I teach ninth grade English. I have ninth grade honors English. So in Colorado, our standards for ELA are 9 and 10 together, and then 11 and 12 together. We have skill standards, but we do not have specific texts we have to teach, or stories we have to teach, or an order to those things. We do not have them. Now, I'm sure other districts have created curriculums
hmm
where they have like that sort of scope and sequence. And
hmm
while we loosely have that, it's something that they're completely revamping to the point that it's almost been set aside. Like it exists if you know how to find the website, but it's tough to find. So we have our skill standards, And those are what we work towards. We at the high school level do not have a standardized test beyond the PSAT or SAT. So
That's
at a
pretty
high
nice.
school level, oh boy, yeah, I try. I'll get to that. So and that's spectacular, right? I teach AP Lang, and in AP Lang you have standards from College Board that you have to make sure you're teaching those skill standards because ultimately that's on the AP test the kids have to pay to take at the end. So I have to make sure that I'm teaching those skills. I also teach it as dual enrollment, so I have to be able to give that to the University of Colorado and say, here's a portfolio of student work that demonstrates the skills of your institution.
Okay.
But I also get to create classes. Like I have an elective called Young Adult Novel. I adhere to standards because I like standards. I'm a fan of standards. I
Right.
love to build off of them. It's concrete, it's clear. They're skills. Like it's inarguable. So, but I created that class, the whole book list. I have all of it. I stick to district approved texts as optioned, but then there's free choice beyond that. But like,
That's so cool.
what is approved, and then I just have it. My kids are in middle school and they are taking the Colorado State assessment right now. Well, middle school and elementary because they take it K through 8.
Okay.
It's like an 8-day test.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah, but it's like spread out. So we've got our
Okay.
reading test starts tomorrow. Then they have a science test next week, math the week after, and then social studies the week after, something like that.
How
They're
many
spacing it out.
and how many hours a day?
Dude, it's like 4 or 5. It's crazy. I
Holy
mean,
shit.
I mean,
Are
like,
you kidding me?
well, they're gonna be. It's like blocked off for that, and I teach a lot of students with special needs,
Right.
accommodations and stuff. So it's like, yeah, they're stuck with me all day.
Okay, so beyond those hours, then, like, and again, it's the beauty of teaching high school, but like we have the PSAT and SAT next week. So those students, PSAT, so that's 9 and 10,
hmm
they are one day, and then SAT is the second day. But like on the day the juniors take the SAT, no one else is at school. On the day that the ninth and 10th graders take the PSAT, no one else is at
Oh,
school.
that's
They
cool.
take those tests and then they are dismissed. They go home.
That's so cool. That's nice.
It works in a lot of ways. Like in theory, I could post asynchronous work and students would be accountable for that. And in some of my classes, I'm going to only for like submissions and things. Like if I had a due date on Monday, I'll
Yeah.
just push it until Wednesday,
hmm
right? Like so it's more of a grace period than like an accountability thing. And some teachers use it, and that's their right. Like I'm not complaining, but man, my kid's just taking CMAS every day, and I don't. It seems like the results that you get are not ones that are probably accurate if they are taking it in bulk like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Would you agree with that if they're taking tests over 3 weeks? Because like that's outrageous to me.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Like I love my school, and
Yeah.
we're all doing the best that we can with the
Hmm?
requirements on us. But it's just like it has been nonstop benchmarks and testing, like every other week, maybe every 3 weeks or something. And like to get them to this point where they have to take the state test. It's like, all right, we got another one, guys. Sorry, I haven't been able to teach you for 2 weeks.
Okay. So hold. I need to go. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with state testing. I just need to check on something.
He's just got his pork chops he needs to go check out. Pork chops.
Testing stamina, right? Like
Right, right.
the ability for these results to be something. What happens with these results? What does that do to your career?
Dude, what does it do to my career? Well, I mean, in
Or not even your
Texas,
career, but like your day to day job. Like, how does that impact you?
I mean, there is a financial. I don't know what Colorado has, but like Texas has the Texas incentive allotment for teachers that, bring their test scores up higher or bring their students' test scores higher. It's a
What?
significant. Yeah, it's some sort of bonus at the end of the year. I can't remember how much it is right now. Uh,
Oh
post
my
this is what
god.
it. No, no, this is probably something important that we need to. It probably is a quick search.
Yeah, I have never heard. So
Texas.
while you're looking that up, so in Arizona they had a test, and this is then. I don't think they still have it now. But if students exceeded on all three sections of the test, whatever they were, they got something called a tuition waiver in Arizona, where they could go to the University of Arizona, Arizona State, or Northern Arizona for free.
Oh, I liked how that works.
Yeah, and they could retake the sections. So like because it was incentivized, I mean it boosted scores so much, but it was incentivized for kids. We didn't get a cut. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's pretty nice.
Honestly, but if you look in the comments with all the teacher haters that post on a lot of things, they would probably say that if you don't meet those things, you should lose money from your paycheck.
Yes, and oh my god, I oh my god. Just trying to avoid like going into my anti-capitalist spiel
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I found it.
Yes.
Teacher incentive allotment in Texas. It's like the base if you get any sort of growth is like 3,000. There's some sort of multiplier attached to it of 1,500. Then there's there's little tiers to this. There's a recognized, exemplary, and masters, and the masters has like some sort of $12,000 bonus, but I don't think anyone. I think that's a little bit farther than everyone else is able to handle. But like you
Oh my
said,
god.
it's like yeah, if
Well, that's like if you make $50,000 a year, that's 20% of your salary potentially, like and as an increase that's based on this test performance.
mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of Texas teachers cheat and they get caught, and it's not great.
I think I think this might be I think my group chat teacher version might be set in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
And
sick.
this might become a thriller.
Well, there's a whole King of
That
the Hill episode of it, and it was so amazing. Do you watch King of the Hill?
like I think I passively did when it was on, but
You
no.
gotta watch the state testing one for Bobby Hill. It's so great. It's not politically correct at all because they make all the kids who are gonna be tested on this, who they know are gonna get bad grades, they give them special ed status
Yeah.
like designation in order to that their test scores wouldn't count, and they just like take them to a amusement park instead that day. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's like
I
Abbott Elementary could never.
I right. Animated shows, I guess, can maybe get away with stuff that like live action in 2025 couldn't. But I'm really blown away by this incentivizing teachers for this because like is there any student incentive like at a high school level for instance or do they even take it at high school? Does that exist?
Yeah, it exists for any state tested course, which is like the big like you know
Yeah, your
like
cores.
yeah, but like you hear that and it's like okay, what about sped teachers or like what about the arts
Yeah.
teachers? It's like they don't get that, or they like get some sort of stipend for something else, but they can't like record their scores to be submitted for the allotment, and it's like I'm sorry. You got fucked in this one. Sorry,
Yeah.
you teach something you enjoy.
And something that's important and
Yeah,
something where like students have a voice where they might not talk all day and then they go to your class and get to express themselves in a way they can't anywhere else but like what's their score?
because that's all they are, really. Let's.
Well, that's kind of what it seems like. Especially, do you believe then, based on your experience and only yours, you're not the spokesman for Texas teachers.
Mhm.
Do you believe that the financial incentive for teachers does in fact improve the education that students get, whether it's demonstrated on the test or not?
Minimal, minimal.
Okay,
Like first of all, I think that teachers would just do the best that they could anyway.
I
Like
like to
I don't,
think that too.
because it's not like you're going to be a teacher so that you can make racks and like become the Andrew Tate, buy a Bugatti and have bitches and
Hmm.
stuff. It's like
Yeah.
I go to teach because like I love when I see a kid enjoy the story he's reading about or like being able to write his own story or learn to love math. It's like oh like that
Hmm.
that, that gets me going. I love that.
Yeah.
uh and like everything else is a bonus. I mean, I think I don't think it's wrong to we were saying about this horrible girl with opinions. Like
That
pushing.
she was that opinionated girl.
She was
She's
that.
not anymore.
She's not anymore. She's lives from Opinionated Girl or something like that.
Mhm. She's
But
in the 300 views.
she, bless her heart. I
Hmm.
mean,
You
so am
keep
I.
on trucking away.
I forgot where I was going with that, but the
Well,
Yeah, go. Yeah.
We were talking about the idea of it being the idea that that incentive would be something that would create a better, more effective classroom or a more driven, diligent teacher. And I think while that's sweet, like I don't know, this is my follow up then. How much when you have a curriculum, and I want to know more about yours in detail too, but when you have a curriculum that is so like tightly woven together with so much, how much ability do you really have to teach the hell out of it? Like to really excel teaching it? Would you what do you have to do? Do you have a script?
No, I do not have a script. I know. I think our elementary schools do. Uh, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I don't have a script technically. I mean, I think there is a pacing guide that has a script on it, but
Uh-huh.
I think that's take it at your own if you like need it. I
Yeah.
still make a lot of my own resources because a lot of my kids, they're like I said, they have IEPs, they're sped, they
Hmm.
are, needing accommodations. Like a lot of them need notes, and this thing is not notes friendly at all. Like I told you
Is it a
before this,
platform like they log in?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah, they also have a textbook, but like I said, it's got no, it's got margins where you can make notes, but
Mhm.
like I know if I was in their situation, I would need something written out for me, and then like I fill it in so I see kind of puzzle pieces coming together.
Skeleton note.
Yeah, skeleton notes. Like I know a lot of my kids can't even read their own handwriting, and
Right.
like if I have all the little pieces and they can focus on like one word and like really take some effort to make that look good so that they can remember it, they're able to engage with the lesson still. Uh, yeah, I don't know if that reveals any sort of negative aspect to my
Well, I think it
teaching.
does because my follow up there is like, so that curriculum then it's not scripted, but I'm going to assume is it. Would you say that as an English teacher there you are teaching content or you are teaching skills?
Skills.
Skills. Okay. So you have the freedom to like pick some of the materials in the reading or not?
Technically, because it's like they overload you with resources that you like. So let's say I have one unit and they give us 10 texts, and I only have 4 weeks to cover this. I can't go through 10 texts, but I can choose, three of these short stories to go through, or one of them, and then go over it for 4 weeks, which is usually what we end up doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what I think of, right? Is when I think of new teachers that might show up to my building, for instance, and then they are so like I'm a teacher now. Like I got hired. I am going to be a teacher. I am teaching. And then they show up, and I think there might be something that is at least reassuring about the idea that this is the state endorsed thing. This is a pacing guide. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is what I am going to get assessed on and maybe monetize. Like at the end of it, I think there's something that's maybe a little bit peaceful about that. But like when I look at the teachers, then they've maybe come into my building, and it's like, well, this is kind of how we teach 9 honors, but we could also completely change it. Like this is what 10th grade looks like, but we could completely abandon it.
Right.
Like you could take a quarter and focus on a singular text. I might over the course of that time focus on a singular text, but it's a different one, and for 3 weeks, and then do something else. If by the end we then, and this is where our alignment comes from on my end, like as long as we give the same summative,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Right.
like at least at quarter and at semester, we can give the same skills based assessment, which by the way we create.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Is it though? Like would you? Because it's a shitload of
Oh
work.
yeah, it's a
Like
lot of work to
to
make it, but it's I don't well, I don't know now I think about it because I'm like, it's nice to have that standard. Like, hey, this is what everyone in your area or everyone in your district or everyone in your state is taking at this point in time. Where are your
right.
kids? I
Well,
think there's
so here's
value in that.
have I ever emailed you?
No, what the
What?
fuck?
Okay, you might need to cut this out. What is an email that I could send it to? So I could send something to you right now.
Let's do contact
Okay.
dot Mikey Fresh at Gmail. Would that work?
Yep. Contact Mikey Fresh. at. Uh, sorry, I'm typing with one hand.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh yeah, look at hey, there you. That's a great picture.
Thank you.
Okay,
Much appreciated.
so what? Oh, I can't see my button. Hold on.
You can't see
Okay,
your butt.
my.
I know a lot
Okay.
of guys on TikTok who would pay to see that.
Oh my God. We should just have a whole episode.
C is for I can't see Rupp's ass.
The Jesus. So okay, what I just sent you, and you're
Young
welcome to
adult
take a look,
novels.
is a folder that I call young adult novels. Inside of it, every single one of those, and you can they're not in order really, but you can kind of see the structure of it. So for my young adult novel class, this is my curriculum. This is what it looks like.
Oh,
So if you were able to then like view it, um, if you organize it by name and then go through the copies, you can look at my curriculum.
yeah.
Okay, now obviously this is years and years of it, but as you scroll down, once it gets down to the ones that, like, for instance, start with parentheses, like where they're numbered, that is the curriculum that I created for this class, that I create every year. Every one of
Okay.
those is a PDF that students can work in. They have links, everything is there. They make all of that. Like they do all of that work, but I made every word of that,
That's
all of
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
It's completely me, and I make it new every semester. It's refreshed. It's ready to go. The way that they grade themselves with those course outcomes, so you can see the skill standards. Like if you look at that one, this parentheses number 27, for instance. Like if you go into that, it tells them exactly what the standard is, what it means, and then what to pull from their assignment to demonstrate that standard, so they can assess themselves. Like, but I made all that.
Now
I
I
don't,
have it
and I
for
loved
free.
it, and I love the ownership of it. But like, when we talk about teachers only working their like paid contract time, I feel like maybe having a more structured, given to me curriculum would make it less work.
Yeah.
I don't, but do I want less work? Do you want more work?
No.
Do you want? Do you
No, I
want
don't.
to? Do you want to do this? Is this what you want to do?
Like
This
just
thing that I just shared with you. Make classes like this.
there's a part of me where I'm just like there's like a art and a beauty to it that I'm like that's kind of sexy. Like the work that you put out into that, and like a lot of people might not see it that way, but it's like, oh man, that's like you scaled Everest, in teaching world, or whatever the equivalent might be. There's a cool like aspect of it where I'm like I would like to accomplish something like that, but also that's a lot of work. And if we can share resources, that's kind of better. No,
This is
it's not good to expect all teachers to be able to climb Everest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is a perspective from this conversation. I mean, this means a lot to me because I get frustrated when I, for instance, share like, here's what I do. Here, I'm going to show you another. I'm going to show you one more thing. Um, Worst outcomes.
Give it to me straight, Doc.
Let me. Okay. So, okay. So this document that I am sharing with you anyway. Okay, so this document that I am sharing with you, these are called course outcomes. Okay, this was not my brainchild. This is my colleague Laura Munnelly. Every time it's Laura Munnelly, it's always Laura Munnelly. CU Hall of Famer Laura Munnelly, by the way. But she created this where students evaluate themselves. It has all of the skill standards for AP Lang. They fill out this document where they then put evidence of their work and they reflect on it. It all goes in there. Okay. And I showed this document, which if you look at it, like, it's skills cut and pasted into it.
Oh yeah.
It's tables, right? So like if you were teaching a different class, you would just create tables, put your skills in. This is not a difficult thing to duplicate. But teachers, dozens of teachers messaged me and they're like, "Can you please send me this document?"
Mhm.
Well, just make your own. Like, it's a table. Just make your own tables, and then you don't need me for that. Like, why are you waiting on me to send you a table? You can just create it. And now talking to you, I'm having this moment where it's like, that is not the way that everybody is required to do their job. You don't have to create these systems.
Right.
And now I kind of feel like a dick.
No, no, no. I
And I'm
don't.
not telling you to like make me not feel like one. I'm just thinking about it like, man, I think I'm assuming that the job I do is at least in some form or fashion the one that everybody is maybe expected to do, and then they're not. So they're asking me for this thing that I have, and it's like that's not what's happening at all.
Uh, I would say I don't know where I want to go with that. This is not just a
I
table.
wanna,
This is a
I
freaking
wanna show it. Yeah, it's
dining
just like
room,
just make a table, and then you'd have it, and then
and it's based on
um
your standards wherever you're at.
yeah. So here I'm gonna send you one last thing. Okay. So that
Yeah.
same document I sent you. Where's my share? Damn it. Okay. So that last document I sent you, this is my young adult novel version of it. That's the thing I just sent. This is a version of it that is filled out. So this is from an on level student.
Mhm.
And so there's the reflections that they did each unit. Those are at the top. And then you go down, and then there's the images of their work, and it's labeled. And then, like, here's the reflection that they did for each one. And so they respond to themselves. So each one of those tables then is for those standards, right?
Yeah.
But like that's not a curriculum that was given. I created that curriculum. I identified those standards. I created assignments which specifically measure them so that over the course of a semester they can demonstrate growth, so that they can then assert their own grade based on the feedback that I have given them and the stuff that I've made. And so this is my class
Yeah.
that I made. And I obviously, but this goes back. This is it. This doesn't feel hollow to me
Mhm.
because I made
Right.
it.
Right.
That seems to be the disconnect, right? That thing that can't be duplicated when they're telling you what to do.
Yeah. That's
Huh.
no. That's uh. Yeah, because I didn't make my scope and sequence. I didn't make my pacing guide. I did, but I didn't. Like I had to adapt it because like I'm trying to squeeze in every little thing that this state is requiring me to. And I mean, you are as well. It's just like yours. Well, yours has an intention that with your group of students in your specific building, every like it's designed to fit in that space, whereas mine is designed to be for every student everywhere in eighth
Exactly.
grade
And
in Texas.
that's where I think you have me,
Yeah.
because this structure that I'm doing, that document that I just showed you, the way that I have my class planned out in those PDFs that I sent to you, I'm the only one doing that.
Mhm.
So they then go to math, and it looks completely different than it does in history, than it does anywhere else. And then they leave me at semester and they go to another teacher, and it doesn't look anything like that. I don't give them grades, they give themselves grades. They go to another class, it's nothing like that. Right? And in the same way, is your curriculum telling you how many points to put on things, or is it like a mastery thing?
Oh no, it's a mastery thing. No, they're not telling me they're not telling me shit for points. I mean, technically, they have like quizzes and stuff that I can give to my students, but it's
Yeah.
like I go in there and I select the questions I feel like really meet the standard, because sometimes it'll get a little like wonky and it'll like revisit standards from the past or kind of anticipate ones for the future. And I'm like, my kids can handle three things that I tell them. In a day. Like it's just that is the level of learners I'm working with.
Mhm.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just like I cannot give them multitasks to do because they will get overwhelmed, or it's in their accommodation, like do it like chunk the assignments or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like I've got, if we're talking about they need to identify the mood, I can't have them also like recognizing symbols that are
Mhm.
obscure. Like you know what I'm talking. Like I can't. They've got to be
Absolutely.
one track minded in their space. So like that's my effort going to adapt those points for what they can identify.
And that's but you're adapting a thing that's already kind of prefabricated. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
like it's made and then you have to alter a thing you didn't create. Like
Hmm.
if you look in that big file of PDFs that I sent you, like that's why those are organized the way that they are, because they're broken into acts. And so it's already chunked. And then I have my objectives and my standards and they're already aligned.
Hmm.
And so we can then like, because I have kids with IEPs, of course I do.
Right.
And so like it's chunked in there. And then when we talk about like they get extended time, well, they absolutely do, because all of those things that they get one day at a time aren't due until the end, and they're only due in the form of the evidence in that self-evaluation.
Mm.
So like it's all gonna be there. And so my accommodations for basically all students are already built. Everybody gets them,
Yeah.
because I think that just provides access that's uniform. And so I don't know, I'm a big proponent of that. But
Yeah.
man, having to adapt a thing that's already created, especially when they're doing mastery and they're in different spots. Like
It's the pits, dude.
how much time do you spend in front of your class teaching in a given block? Like if your block is an hour, how long are your
We
classes?
we do about 50 minutes.
50.
Yeah, I
How much are
try
you instructing? How much are you teaching them how to do something?
I try desperately to keep it under 20 minutes, but
Okay.
behavior and stuff will get in the
Yeah.
way. Uh
How big are your classes? Now we're moving away from curriculum and into like C is for class size, but like how big are your classes?
um so my schedule right now, I've got two what we call content classes where we're working through this curriculum. And then I
Mhm.
got how many? 5 plus classes which are supposed to supplement those with resources that are also from that same curriculum.
Wow. Do those kids overlap?
Yes, yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah. But essentially, in both of those classes, I'm aiming to just be up there like 20 minutes, and then you have a skill that you can work on by yourself independently.
Hmm.
You can master by yourself, or like we're in a group first, and then so like try to keep like I prefer student centered areas and like
Yeah.
where that's the focus. So like 30-ish minutes, like maybe another just 20 minutes of students working by themselves or with a
Yeah.
group. Hmm.
Do you get to create any projects, or does it have to fit into the platform? Like you could do things outside of the platform in theory, or you do, or
It's
like
got to
can you
be
create like if I so for instance I have this idea like for my young adult novel class where did you ever watch The Buried Life on MTV?
no.
Oh my god, it was a documentary that came out around the same time Jersey Shore did. But it was these kids that made YouTube videos from Canada, and they made a list of 100 things they wanted to do before they died, and then for everything they did wherever they were, they would ask a random person what they wanted to do before they died, and then they'd help them. And so if they could only
Ooh.
cross off the thing they did if they successfully helped the stranger do the thing they wanted to. It was the best show ever, and it was a 2-season documentary. It was incredible, but I remembered that existed, so like I created a whole project for my young adult novel class that's based on that. Like, so using these books as inspiration, create this list of goals that you want to achieve, and then align it, and how can we learn from that book how you want to maybe implement that thing into your own life, especially as a graduating senior that's about to leave. But I could make that, and I
Hmm.
could make it valuable to my class. Can you
Right.
do that?
Yes and no. Like there, that's gonna be a lot of my answers tonight if you haven't noticed. Uh,
Hey, whatever.
it,
You're thorough.
yeah, yeah. There's it's really political. I'm giving you the answers. I'm not just saying yes or no. Uh,
Right.
but if I'm doing, usually no. Like it
Okay.
has to be something taken from the curriculum because my district has paid for this resource, and if they notice that I'm not logged in, if my kids aren't logged into this platform for a certain amount of hours, they come and say, "Hey, you're doing your job wrong."
Right. Really?
Yeah.
Like that lights up a sensor on their end?
But yeah, they like check it on data stuff. And like I just want to be very clear in case like anyone from my district ever hears me. Like I know that first of all, they're just doing their job and they're
Right.
doing it to help kids. It's just like we work in a system that can always use improvement, and our kids deserve for us to be looking for those ways of improvement. you know.
Part of me wonders then, in a space, again, like Texas perhaps, or other states of similar nature, how much the curriculum is created, like obviously with students in mind, but also to guarantee that we are avoiding like teacher agenda and indoctrination. Because that seems to be what people want from a curriculum is a freedom
Hmm.
from that potential of teaching kids I don't divisive, I guess, but like teaching kids things that go against the values that people might already have.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a thought out loud that I don't expect you as a spokesman for the entire state of Texas to answer. But I just wonder how much that goes into the thought process of these skills or the texts that are being chosen.
Oh, I mean, it definitely goes in there. Based on the new curriculum they're trying to implement in Texas, called I think it's called a Blue Bonnet one. That
Oh,
it's like Texas Blue Bonnet or something. We're gonna. I'm just gonna have to text you about that. It's like
okay.
it's a mess. It's like steeped in religious
Oh,
text. It's like that, like very going back to like our first or second no, this is the second episode because we talked about conspiracy theories.
oh, right.
But like it's steeped in belief and like faith held views rather than and like legitimizing other perspectives that are mm, heavy in some sort of agenda, you know.
Yep. So that was, and that's tying a whole bunch of the stuff that we're talking about together. Because again, when I think of that creator that I stitched, her name was that opinionated girl, right? And the idea, an opinion is a belief that is not necessarily grounded in fact. Like your opinion is your thought on something that does not need research, right? Like it might have it, but it doesn't necessarily need it to be your opinion, right? But for whatever reason, there's so much, and this goes into rhetoric, but like there's so much where it's like, if I have an opinion and you have an opinion, then we are equal because we have opinions.
Hmm.
And like, therefore, those ideas, because we're both people, are of the same value.
Right.
And like, that is just not, that's not the case, right? You can measure the value of an argument or a stance. And so it's with that then that like what you're talking about maybe being implemented there goes into this. It reminds me of like abolishing sort of the fairness doctrine in the 80s. Like, are you up on the fairness doctrine? Do you know about that?
I'm not up on the fairness doctrine.
Okay, you should be because it's fascinating. So in the 40s, the FCC implemented something called the fairness doctrine, especially like with the emergence of television. And the idea was that news stations, when broadcasting like important identified issues, they had to make sure that like they gave time for alternate perspectives,
Ew.
right? So like if we're saying something is like, and we're making this real black and white, it's not always this pretty, but if we're saying something is good, there needs to be a space on that same broadcast to say that that thing is bad. They don't need to take up the same amount of time, but they need to be
Oh.
present. But in the 80s, okay, so we're talking like Reagan era, in the 80s, they got rid of that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that anymore. And so now the news that we see 30, 40 years later doesn't abide by that sort of fairness doctrine because the objection to it was like, this is censorship, when in
Right.
reality, it's the opposite, right? You can still say all the stuff you were going to say, but you have to include other things too. And it sounds like the curriculum that you are having given to you potentially is going to be pretty narrow in its perspective scope.
We'll see. we'll yeah, we'll see. It's yeah. I'm
And
jealous
look, and I
of
don't think,
yours.
here's why I feel comfortable saying that because I recognize that like at least 10 people are going to hear this. But I I feel comfortable saying that because like if we say that it is presenting a pretty singular focus, that can just be verified. Like you can just look at it and be like,
Hmm.
this is presenting a thing. That's not political. That's not anything. Like there's the one thing that it's presenting, and that's the only thing that's in the curriculum. That's passionless,
Right.
right? That's just that's the thing you're looking at, so that's what it is. I couldn't teach a rhetoric class with that in place.
Yeah. No, you could not.
It
No,
wouldn't work. It
no.
wouldn't. It wouldn't work. Especially if part of it is teaching that something is correct.
Because what does it mean
Because
to be correct? Or
well, no, just the idea that, like, so for instance, like when we analyze rhetoric,
yeah.
right? I am not in the business of teaching conclusions. I am in the business of teaching students how to reach conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they're analyzing rhetoric, I can put anything in front of them, right? I can put an Obama speech in front of them. That was on the AP Lang test. I can put a Trump speech in front of them. I can put literally anything in front of them. It does not matter
Mm-hmm.
because their job is to look at it and say, here are the choices that were made by the speaker in order to try and achieve their purpose. We are not evaluating it. We are not saying whether we agree or disagree. We are looking at the choices made to achieve a purpose within a context. So I
Right.
can put anything in front of them, and I wonder how much that would be limited if I had a set of text that only I could focus on, and we weren't, because we're thinking of it critically in terms of the choices,
Mm-hmm.
but like not in terms of the belief that's behind them. I mean, I could give my kids a damn sermon if I want. We can analyze anything.
And
I don't know. There's a guy like Andrew Tate named Andy Elliott, and I use his videos all the time. Like how is he appealing to his demographic?
is he just like a pickup artist or something?
He's successful, and he will sell you courses on success. He holds the record for the most cars sold in a year. I don't know where that is verified from, but he sure advertises it.
Yeah.
And yeah, him and his crew of men in extra medium polos put on seminars and have men in the audience, and they do chants. And he gets them hyped up and sells them success. And to what extent that works, I don't know, because I don't care, because we're just analyzing the choices made to appeal to an audience.
Rupp, I feel like you'd be an expert at multi-level marketing or like pyramid schemes. You would use your skills to the downfall of many families.
I need you to know that I use that Andy Elliott work as I then move into predatory marketing and looking at multi-level marketing specifically, and also gambling advertisements targeted
Mm,
towards young men.
golly,
Um,
it's so
and
bad
and
right
we
now.
and we focus on those specific ways that those are being marketed, and then the prompts that you can give, and like this is the way that I operate, and again it's an AP thing, but like I love it, is what considerations need to be made before making a decision about whether or not to buy into that purpose. And like buy in isn't the word, but like, so if we go through like a, let's just use Mary Kay, like we go
Okay.
through a Mary Kay website, what based on this do we need to consider before we become like a brand ambassador to Mary Kay? Like what do you need to factor in? What do you need to know? And it's based purely on what is being presented and the potential like gaps or errors or things that might be overlooked, things that
Mm-hmm.
are being focused on versus not. I can't imagine not being able to teach that. I don't know that I'd want to do my job anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, it saves. I mean, in like a real practical sense, it's like, or like idealistic sense, I guess too. Like you're saving so many people. Like I could go into my multi-level marketing scheme, not mine, my ex-wife's
Oh, okay.
deal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like it, like you're saving them from, not even just saving them from that. You're giving them skills to be able to navigate when things like that are brought up in front of them, which is like,
When anything's brought in front of them, the
yeah,
first thing we do in AP Lang is they take their phones out, they scroll through their algorithm, and they document everything they see. So here is the post. Here is just a passionless summary of what it is. Here is why you think you saw it. Okay, and then they do that, and it's a table that's like 15 deep, and then like, is it an advertisement? What are they trying to sell you? What do you think that it is? And they just do their first 15 and they document it, and it's like, so what is your algorithm trying to move you towards? And that's it. Not should you do it, not should you not do it. Is this bad? Is this good? We're not. Nope, none of that. What is it trying to do? And then I'm done. That's where my job ends. And if that is what a thought process I can teach my students, there is nothing more fucking important in the entire world than when I say being critical. I don't mean being dismissive immediately.
mm,
I just literally mean just thinking about the thing that you're doing. Metacognition, just promise to think about it. Just that's it.
yeah. But
That's
Rupp,
it.
you didn't tell them the standards they were learning about, or give them the objective for the day. I guess technically you gave
Ish.
me the objective, but
Um, you so okay. So for what it's worth, if you look at those PDFs, it is at the top of every single one of them.
oh, my bad.
Every single day I have an objective because I happen to believe in objectives. I don't know that my class would be chaos without them, but I know I if I can't I don't did we talk about this? Maybe it was with Martello, but like I asked specifically like do you think that teachers are upset about having their objectives on the board all the time because they're being told to do it or because they think that objectives aren't valuable? Because I'd assert that I think they're valuable,
Right.
but I think it's also an annoying thing to get dinged on if somebody comes into your classroom. Like that's different. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important. Like if I can't say here's what I want my students, I even have a thing at the top of mine that says here's why we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the why, and then if I can't answer the why, then
Then what's the point?
I don't
Yeah.
do it. So I don't. God, do you have to have your objectives posted?
No, I
Your
choose
your
to. I
your
choose to.
SW bat.
The student will be able to. No, I'm totally with you. With that thing, I'm like I need to know where our class is going, and if I don't display that, and if I don't go over it, I feel like the kids are just gonna be like, okay, here's this thing that we're doing today, and then we can leave.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the next thing. It's like I need them to know we are here to do this. This is the thing we're doing. We do the thing. This is what we did today. You know, keeping it simple.
Yeah, I'm for it. And does your curriculum outline the objectives you're supposed to put on the board?
Not specifically. I mean, they have it
Oh.
in our. They have an objective to put in our pacing guide.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always the most friendly thing.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
Okay. In closing, then, as we wrap up a discussion about curriculum, do you believe that there is a specific text that all students in this country should need to read before they graduate high school?
Yeah. The Bible. Duh. Sunrise on the Reaping. Um, State and Capital. By Lenin.
Rich dad, poor dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Chicken Soup of the Soul.
Oh, so good.
I never read it.
Um,
I'm just memeing.
I I had a student that was or not a student, somebody I went to high school with that got published in one of those Chicken Soup for the Souls. She wrote a little short story, but then there was like a trillion of them, right? Like
Yeah.
Chicken Soup for the Android owner's soul, but then like it was all unformatted, but it had a back button.
Shut up. It was all fun. Android is good, okay? Okay. Back on topic. Do I think
Is
there's
there?
a
Do you think
single?
there is one?
Oh no. Definitely not.
I don't think so either. I somebody asked
Yeah.
this and I didn't have an answer.
Yeah, and I know it's frustrating because we
One of my
want
can
that
I sorry,
answer.
what I want to say
Yeah.
before I forget. One of my colleagues said that students need to read a Holocaust text. Like they need to, whether it's night or whether it's something else. And I tend to agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think reading that specific thing from that perspective, I don't know that that has always necessarily been a thing that is of urgency, but I do feel like, and it probably has been. Like that's not what I'm just not talking about that. I'm saying right now, I think that's important.
Hmm. Um.
So that's my answer, and I'm stealing it from a colleague, and so he can have credit if he's listened to this for an hour and a half. Ryan, that was your idea, and I agree with you completely.
Yeah, I think there's value to that. Um. I don't feel like I don't know. I feel like there are pivotal moments in development where that would be particularly useful.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should align kind of with however we teach history to better, you know, um, create
Mm-hmm.
ease and cohesion between subject areas in a school. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and that doesn't go against what you're
Okay.
saying. Just yeah,
Yeah.
trying to
I
think
don't know
of a
because
specific
it's a
text.
question that was posed to me, and I thought it was an
Yeah.
interesting one, and I don't. exactly have an answer. But the Holocaust one is that answer is something that's been on my mind for like a week since it was asked. Like, man, that does feel crucial. And now I'm looking at again like the remainder of my year, or really next year, honestly, because this one I'm almost done
Hmm.
with. Huh. 4 more weeks, but I'm avoiding the countdown mentality.
I think I think it is valuable. Like I'll say I'll end with this. I guess I think it is valuable to have some sort of dystopian novel or subject area to cover, um, just to get kids primed in thinking. Like I know it can go both ways. Like both sides use the argument of this is 1984, but it helps us
Literally, it's 1980. This is literally
literally.
19.
I don't get how you teach anymore. It's literally
The
1984.
the cafeteria was out of pizza. This is literally 1984. It's, that car just ran that red light. I mean, is this 1980? This is what Orwell was warning us about.
I'm dead.
Literally. But I will say that maybe we should all read chapter 9 of 1984 over and over and over again.
Which one is that? Golly.
The book. That's the book.
Oh, where?
That's where Winston gets his copy of the book, and him and Julia are reading it and talks about whether it's
Mm,
propaganda or as given to him by. Now I can't think of his name. I want to call him Wilson. Is it Wilson? But as it's given to him by his like contact that ends up betraying him, he gets that textbook that talks about how these three super nations were formed and how they continue to have power. And it seems like the only bit of truth that Winston ever receives in that.
mm-hmm.
Um, and that seems important and crucial, especially given his response. They just like read it and then they cry, and then get taken in by Big Brother and reprogrammed.
Good for them. I wish Big Brother could reprogram me to not be sad anymore.
Well, maybe you just need a viral post. Maybe you need to get a direct message from @bitch asking if they can use your post, like I did,
At
and then
bitch. Wait, for which
at
post? The dad one?
yeah
Oh,
yeah at bitch sent me a message and asked if they could use my post if I'd submit it, and because it is so short I can't monetize it, I said sure. And so now one of their massive affiliate meme pages has picked it up, and now I'm going viral again for the second time on the same post 3 years after I made it.
guys, go repost your videos, and we're gonna end that there because we are over time, Rupp.
What is our next C for though?
C is for C4. We're going to teach people how to program explosives.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna hammer e drinks, hammer
I
e drinks, and maybe just do some planks.
just an hour of planks. It'd be crazy.
Would be the dynamic podcast. They need the video. Okay, thank you. Please subscribe if you're still here. God bless you.
God bless everyone.
Oh, I tried to just use my mouse to turn off my phone for the second week in a row. All right, I'll talk to you later,
All
Mikey.
right, man. Thanks for the conversation.
I couldn't agree more. This was my favorite one.
It was the most it was the most dense informational one I think we had.
I think there's an audience for that. I think they're going to defund NPR and they're going to fund Type C.
That's right. That's right. They're going to be looking for options. They're going to be like, "Where do we go? Where do we go?" And we'll be a big beacon in the darkness over here.
I have a book about that, but I can message you about it later. It has zombies and news, and it's spectacular.
Yeah,
You'd
it's
love it.
literally 1984.
It is literally. Oh my god, the podcast is 1984. Okay, bye.